Michael Wilder was born and raised in Chicago and currently serves as the Group Violence Intervention Coordinator for the city of Kalamazoo. Michael did not always seem destined for such a prestigious title. Try career criminal instead. After 3 trips to prison, his future was as bleak as the desert. However, God had different plans for him. After his last release from prison, he enrolled in college and graduated from Kalamazoo Valley Community College with a degree in political science, and the rest is history. Michael is a man of God, devoted husband to his beautiful wife Dominique, and a father to his children. He is also an educator at Covenant Academy in Kalamazoo. He co-founded Peace During War with Yafincio Harris. It is an organization that helps youth find their purpose and turn their experiences in the streets into something positive. Yafincio and Michael were once rival enemies in the streets, but they now run an organization together, doing awesome and healing work in our community. There will be a Q&A session following the service after we exit Facebook Live, and anyone on Facebook can follow the link in the Zoom to the Zoom gathering to participate. So now I turn it over to Michael.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Wilder of Group Violence Intervention, GVI. Oh, we're starting the video?
We'll start the video. Okay.
Okay.
Just this past Friday through Sunday, 9 people were killed and 2 more were gunned down just hours later.
A 39-year-old woman was gunned down in a car. They say multiple shots were fired, but one hit and killed her.
Just recently, a pregnant 17-year-old girl was killed by a stray bullet through her living room window. Experiencing murders at a record level. In just 6 months, there have been 228
people were killed this year across a dozen neighborhoods in Chicago.
Sports officials say they're starting to notice that during this age, more and more students are turning to gangs.
To get a handle on in the city is an internal dispute in one of our gangs. It's the largest gang in the city.
Show you there are some areas where small children really do live, as we said, in a kind of battle zone.
Imagine this. So many times I've had to sit in front of a camera and pose. It was my mugshot.
You look back on it, it was so stupid, but at that time, in that moment, it seemed so right. You know, I'm just glad I made it all through that, you know? You know, at 15, I was a, roughneck, running wild. I fought my mom. Getting in that lifestyle just came from growing up in that neighborhood. Everything was just competitive. You know, even if we went to the park to hoop, it was competitive. And if we won or we bumped somebody too hard, they ready to fight, you know what I'm saying? Because they losing. So, you know, it was just competitive.
My heroes were drug dealers. That's who I looked up to. When I'm like 9, 10 years old, I'm looking out the window. The guys outside with the loud music and the fancy rims, and the jewelry, and all the girls like them. Those were my heroes, and those were the people I looked up to.
I grew up in the time of racism where, like, it was normal for a black dude to go to jail, period. You know what I'm saying? It was gonna happen sooner or later. I was coming into that moving fast. What a dope at. I wanna sell dope. I wanna be like this. Nobody better not bother us. When you're coming up and you're in that era, you're in that world, it's about power and respect. that's the field I fed off him too.
A lot of the things we did, the way we was living, we thought it was normal. Now that I'm not in it and I look back, I'm like, oh my God, you know what I'm saying? We were animals.
I didn't meet Mike until an incident he had with one of my cousins.
I got into a bad altercation. This guy tried to kill me on my 33rd birthday, and my friend killed him. And we turned ourselves in the next morning for murder. And basically, I knew my life was over then, and his life was over then, and it was over. You know, Yefencio, I tell him all the time that he changed my mom's life, but he didn't know it and she didn't know it. But I'm my mom's only son. And Yefencio's family wants me dead because of his cousin that died that night. Yefencio tried to kill me twice, and we ended up going to prison. And when we got out of prison, both of us had decided to change our life, but not seeing each other or talking to each other, we ended up in college, in this college together in the same class. And he knew who I was, but I didn't know who he was.
So I was gonna hit my peoples up and say, you know what, I'm in class with that dude, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't. I didn't because I just didn't want to wake them inner demons up in them that hadn't been, you know, that's been laying low.
So he could have had me killed then. The decision that he made was he told the professor, Mr. Bailey, who y'all talked to, he told him about us.
You know, I'm not finna bother this guy. I'm finna stay on track. I'm not finna lose my focus because I ran into an old opposition, you know, and I just stayed on track. And the guy started talking to me and everything, and he didn't even know who I was.
And then he tapped me one day. We had been sharing homework together, doing all kinds of stuff. And he was like, you don't know who I am, do you? And I said, no, what's up?
And I ended up telling him, you know, it's me, it's Big B, you know?
And I was like, he said, don't worry, man. He said, man, we not beefing no more. He said, I've been watching you in class. He said, I'm glad I didn't kill you. I said, I'm glad you didn't kill me too.
This time where I meet Mike, I feel like I'm glad I met him now because he's a great guy. I could forgive him for the roles he played and what happened, and I can grant him love and hope that we can show another kid some example on, you know, it's cool to let your guard down as long as the other guy that you communicating with on a positive note.
And look at what we doing now. We in college acing our class. He said, I know. So I told Mr. B, I said, Mr. B, that guy right there, me and him got a history. Mr. B said, Mike, don't worry, I already know. He told me everything. And then he told me I didn't have to worry, and we've been cool ever since. And Mr. B, he like some kind of visionary because he's the reason we're here today, because he was like, you two used to be gangsters, dealing drugs and shooting. And we was like, yeah. And he said, now y'all in my class and y'all both acing in college? We was like, yeah. He said, this story needs to be told. One time when I was in prison, they used to make us go to classes like this, similar to this. And I would look at the speakers and I would be sitting there going, man, I would love to do that one day, you know? But never thinking I would ever get the chance though. I would love to be able to share this story and this being on this with all of the young people that's out there doing bad, you know, try to show them a different way, you know, that they don't have to do what we thought we had to do.
Peace during war just came, you know, Mike was like, you know, we would call it peace during war because me and you doing something positive in the time of all this honor going on between the two families and friends, you know, the two towns.
People call us and we go to the high schools and we talk to the young people, the youth, about this gun violence. You know, we've experienced it, we did it, we lived it, and we survived it. So we felt like we had a right to, not only a right, but an obligation to try to give back to the communities and to try to save some kids' lives. It takes less than a second to pull that trigger and change everybody's life. That's an improper faction. It don't add up. But one decision that you make that only take a nanosecond, bah! And all of a sudden, you will never be the same.
You under rules and guidelines. So what about your rules and guidelines? You understand me? You as a person, you got to have your own rules and guidelines. That set up your standards and morals, man.
How you big to be 15? What the hell is in the food around? You see what I'm saying? We have to recognize these things, you know what I'm saying, and start to correct them and change them because, man, you'll be surprised what a look can do. You know, that's simple. That's how powerful y'all are. Y'all can actually change the world.
I don't got the answer for everything, but what I do want you to do is get a hold of yourself, you know, and understand that what you're doing right now Don't let that dictate what you're gonna be tomorrow in your future. You know what I'm saying? We were just doing something to reach out to these kids, man, and let them know, man, there's still some real guys around, man. I didn't know I had this in me. But working with him and working with Mr. Bailey, I'd have molded myself into really adapting and being in love with this feeling and being in love with this situation on what we're doing, you know what I'm saying? I want to thank you. Since you and Too Short been coming, my weeks are better. It feels so good to talk to someone from the streets, someone who knows. You guys give me a feeling that someone cares. I am very grateful for your time when you came through. I have had a messed up life while growing up. You made me feel like family. I feel like you care about where I go in life. I am very grateful. That's from my partner Eric, man. Hard knock life, you know, the streets kind of, you know, messed him up at a young age, and he did some things where he had to pay the price. And as he paid that price, he found a road to redemption and became a better man. We like a year into the session of our program that we've been doing here, working with the kids. We've been to like half a dozen schools, interacting with the youth.
We're moving forward with this thing, man. You know, what once was an idea is turned into something real, you know, and I feel like Peace During War is really touching kids, and my dream is for us to touch kids all over the country, you know what I'm saying? Right now we local, you know, we done touched some lives already, you know, really, we've made some progress. If we don't make no other progress from now on, we
start from the bottom.
We making progress anyway.
You can still talk about it if you want to, and they just holding that and held that inside until they, you know, until they linked up with us. And when they linked up with us and they was comfortable enough to let us know what was going on in their mind, they was wishing for death and wishing for not to wake up the next day. And when we came into the picture, you know, all that got relapsed and put on hold, and was just like, you know, I'm not even gonna work that way.
They was looking forward to seeing us, like in a moment where they sad all the time, they was happy when we came. For that 1 or 2 hours, we made them kids happy, man. You guys were actually a father figure to me that I always wished I had. Once again, thank you for everything. You taught me that what you do now doesn't have to be what you do forever. I hope everything gets worked out so you guys can come back to us. Hannah.
That's great, man. I hope they let us back in.
Man, you know what? They can't stop this train, man. You know what I'm saying? We be back.
All we bring to the table is another way. Don't fall in love with the act of being somebody that you're really not, just because you feel like you got a responsibility that's titled to you. Let's use our head, man, because we can change this up.
That's why Peace During War, you know, we finna break that cycle. You know what I'm saying? By any means necessary, we finna break that cycle.
Man, I'm proud of you, man.
For me, Peace During War, I associate it with love. Without love, how can we start war? Teach one another how to love each other. It's so easy to hate each other. So easy to be angry and want to do something violent.
It seems like when you're doing negative, you got so many people around you that's doing the same thing, you really can't see. And you can't see because all y'all really lost in the fall. If all us blind, who gonna be the leader?
I think it's the easy way out. Be angry, easy way out. Beat somebody up, shoot somebody, easy way out. It's hard to say, you know what? I'm gonna love that person that did something wrong to me. I'm gonna love that person. Step away from the smoke and let that clear in your life. People dying, killers going to prison. Everybody losing. Everybody's losing.
And when you find different, or when you change your lane and you want different, you know you won't strive for that.
People used to associate me with thinking that I won in my situation because one person died and I lived. And I live to let people know that I firmly believe in my heart that no one won in my situation. There was no winners out there. We all lost out there. Everybody lost. And we continue to lose as long as we embrace that lifestyle.
So whether it be somebody you know that you beefing with, that you really ain't with it no more, whether it be just within yourself or your family or your friends, you know what I'm saying? You just want that peace during that time of war, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be another lost soul.
My Peace During War is to just try to spread peace through my communities, throughout the country, throughout the world, and just, you know, just exude more peace than war. That's what I want to do.
That's that peace that I want, and that's that peace that I want to help deliver, you know, and that's my peace during war. I can only hope, you know, that they gain something, because I'm not around to tell them what to do in life, but I am around to help them, help guide them, you know, on better decisions and understanding that life ain't just a mile radius block. This block we living on, this hood we living in, you got a whole world to play with. When you get educated and create options, you learn the stuff that see fit for a world. You can fit into society.
I'm trying to catch them at like 13, 14, 7th, 8th grade, because like you can look at youth and say, that's a future doctor, that's a future lawyer, that's a future police officer, and we got to save them, we got to stop them, you know, early in life. I just want to rebuild the world that I helped destroy.
Keep your hands raised to praise the God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised to praise the God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised to praise the God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised to praise the God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Trying to figure out where I was born. Was it to be a pillow to my mother or a thorn? She raised me good, gave me what she could, made sure right from wrong I understood. But something was missing, I was wishing I had more. Money or love at the time, I wasn't sure. But better that birth by a father who didn't want me. Visions of my mother being beat still haunt me. For 6 years, I was my mother's only one. And still to this day, I'm my mother's only son. A mama's boy, a loving son is a mother's joy. But I fell short, missed my mark and broke her heart. My decision making skills are torn my life apart. I'm delinquent, breaking the law for me is frequent. In and out of jail, I failed to break the sequence. Please, I'm down on my knees, when will it end? Trying to find some peace in the midst of my sins, but without God's grace, it's like trying to grab the wind. The wind, the wind, the wind, the wind, the wind. Keep your hands raised and praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised and praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised and praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised and praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Now I'm a grown man trying to be my own man. Can't make you understand, but I wrote this song. Can't have my first baby girl, a true gift to this world, but I wasn't ready yet. My mind wasn't steady yet. Still in the streets, getting petty, that was petty yet. Living the life without feeling, steady having children, 5 baby girls and I'm still drug dealing. The fast life, aka the fast cash life, the hot my whip and smash life. Riding around blast on guaranteed to crash right. Good intentions, they feed the kids and pay the bills. Now I'm gone, so their mamas got to make a deal. Let's keep it real, I chose to pay my baby seal. I love my babies and I hope for me that's how they feel. But in the meantime, I'm trying to duck the devil's grin. Try vision without sight, like trying to grab the Keep your hands raised to praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised to praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised to praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith. Keep your hands raised to praise to God's grace. Don't be afraid to embrace your faith.
Hello, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed that. It's our 12-year anniversary since we made that video. My partner, Yavincio Harris, and I. And we appreciate the opportunity to expound on that video and also just keep that energy going that we started 12 years ago as two rivals. Yavincio made a decision when he met me in college. He could have had me killed right then, but he didn't. He decided that he liked me and that we would end this war. So me and him made peace during the war. His family still is upset with him for working with me. And so that's why we named our documentary Peace During War, because the war is actually still going on today. But me and him made peace. And since then, we've worked together in the community, going into alternative high schools, juvenile homes, personal homes. Anyone who has a problem with gun violence is welcome to call us. We get calls from mothers pretty much daily asking us to come and help and assist them with their son who is in a gang, or they found a gun in their son's room, or their son is fighting at school and constantly getting suspended for gang affiliation. And so we use our platform to um, save the young men. Um, we like to tell them that they're worth being alive and free. We like to tell them our story because, according to the streets, me and Yafincio can't be friends. We're not supposed to be friends. We have a dead body between us. My friend killed his cousin during a big fight that we were having. And so the street says me and Yafincio cannot be friends. But God says otherwise. And God has not only made us friends, but he's made us family. My children call him uncle, and his children call me uncle. And I'm actually at his mother's house in Osceola, Arkansas right now as we speak. So there that is. And it's been a very powerful journey over the past 12 years. Been a very powerful journey. We work closely with the police department, um, which is also another journey in itself. Me being a former drug dealer, I never liked police officers. They were my sworn enemies, and they heard about what me and Yafincio was doing in 2011 with Peace During War. They liked it, and so Officer Alzinger and Officer Boyson came to me, and well, actually, they came to one of our Peace During War shows. And when I got off the stage, they walked up to me and said, "Hello, Mr. Wilder, how are you doing? Do you recognize us?" I said, "No, but you look like police officers." They were in plain clothes. They said, they said yes. They said, "We like what you're doing, and we want to be a part of it." And I said, "Well, I don't know about that because I've been to prison 3 times. That means I do not cooperate with law enforcement. I will never help you guys put someone in jail. That's not what I do. But if you all are willing to help me keep young men out of jail, we can talk." And the police officer said, Officer Boyson said, "That's exactly what I would like to do, Mr. Wilder." He said, "People don't understand. I've been a narcotics cop for 20 years. He says, I arrest Tom Green, and then 3 years later, I look at my paperwork, we're arresting Tom Green again. But when I look again, it's Tom Green Jr. So I've arrested Tom Green Sr., put him in jail for drugs, and now I'm arresting his son, putting him in jail for drugs. I did not like that system, and I want to do something different, and I want to think up a new way to police, and I would like you to work with me, Mr. Wilder, and I'd like to work with you." And I was like, wow, let's do it. And that was in 2011, and now we're at 2023, and Officer Boyson is now Chief Boyson. And I've been with him the whole time. These whole 12 years, me and Yafincio have worked alongside him. We've faced terrible scrutiny from our people in the streets. We'd be called snitch, and it was pretty difficult. I was very defensive at first. I wanted to defend my honor because being an ex-drug dealer, being a snitch, being called a snitch is very disrespectful, and I didn't want to be associated with that. So I would always defend myself. But eventually, I just wanted to let them know that, hey, I ride around with police officers. The whole city of Kalamazoo see me in the car with police officers, getting in and out of the car with police officers. And I just reminded them that snitches don't do that. Snitches don't be seen with the police. Everything they do is in secret. Um, I want to be seen with the police because I want you to associate me with your situation. If you get in a jam, you might need to call Michael Wilder and maybe he can help you. But hopefully I can catch you before you get into a jam. That'd be my goal. And so me and Chief Boyson and Yafincio and the rest of the Kalamazoo Police Department worked really hard together. The police department also faced scrutiny because there were narcotics officers saying to Chief Boyson, hey, you working with that guy Wilder? He's a drug dealer. Why are you working with him? Why are you putting your name next to his? He's going to let you down. And I heard a similar conversation like that between Chief Boyson and another officer. And I was like, wow, because Chief Boyson's response was, no, this is different. Wilder's with us. He's going to help us. And I said to myself, wow, I will never let Chief Boyson have to eat those words. No, no, no. I am the tip of the spear. I am the beginning of a situation that if I mess it up, then no felon behind me will ever be able to do what I do. So I have to open the door, not only open the door, but I have to hold the door open for felons behind me to come and do this work. Because I like to tell people, me and Yafincio, we use ex-demons to fight current demons. So I don't have a lot of goody two-shoes people working on my team that has never been in the streets and never been to prison. I need people who, when we speak to these young men, we speak with depth and we know exactly what we're talking about. And we use words and situations that they can understand and that they can affiliate themselves with. And so that's what we do. And it's a very powerful thing that has grown. Years down the line, Chief Boyson, as his career grew, a program called GVI was starting to be talked about in the community. Originated out of New Jersey and floated over to New York and then floated out throughout the country. And Kalamazoo heard about it and they started speaking and negotiating with a man named David Kennedy, who originally started a program called Ceasefire throughout the country with gang programs in New Jersey, New York, Miami, Chicago, LA. They were linking gang members and using the gang strategy to help gangs slow down and stop the killing. They knew that the gangs would always exist and not disperse, but Ceasefire just wanted to plant a seed and slow the gangs down in any type of way. That program blew up really well, did so well that people started unsanctioning using the name. So Ceasefire went viral all over the world, all over the country, but it lost its substance in its name. So they ended up changing the name to GVI, Group Violence Intervention. And David Kennedy invited Kalamazoo to New York, and they went to New York, and they told them what to bring, who the ingredients were. And they chose me, Chief Boyson chose me as the street liaison. And they had pastors, police officers, social workers, and street outreach. And we all flew to New York. And the way they did it was Isaac invited David Kennedy to Kalamazoo. And so he came here and did a presentation and everything went well. And eventually GVI was brought to Kalamazoo and I was named as the coordinator, which was something that changed my life because ever since I was young, I was a gang member and a drug dealer. And once I stopped doing that, I kind of lost my personality. I kind of lost who I was as a person because I knew I didn't want to be Too Short the drug dealer anymore, but I really didn't know how to be Michael Wilder. So I stopped everything I was doing stopped dealing drugs, stopped doing everything, and I enrolled in college at KVCC. I ended up graduating with my degree in 2014. Once I did that, I felt very accomplished, like, wow, because I was never really a good student in school. So to graduate from college was amazing, and it made me feel like I was invincible. There was nothing I could not do. And so that's when we started Peace During War. And also, I'm co-founder of a gospel magazine called He Reigns Magazine with my partner, Nigerian Oshotayo Adidije. We started He Reigns Gospel Magazine. And so like I just once we started that, I was officially a part of something legal and not a gang and not drug dealing. And so it was my first time feeling a sense of importance that was not illegal. I liked it. And so I just kept pushing forward, and me and Yafincio kept pushing forward and working together, even though we were getting scrutinized because we wasn't supposed to be together because of the homicide. So it was so many variables trying to stop this train of what we were building. But we kept going, our diligence, we stayed faithful. I gave my life to Christ. The reason why what made me give my life to Christ was the young man who died in me and Yafincio's story happened on my 33rd birthday. I was attacked on my 33rd birthday, and a shootout ensued, and the young man lost his life, and I went to prison. When I got out of prison, I was different, and I was just wanting to be different, wanting to do things different, but I was still very unsure about myself until one day I stopped over a friend's house, and he had the obituary of the young man who died in our situation on his mantle because he was his friend. So I walked over and I looked at the obituary, and the very first thing that I noticed that struck me very hard was that my birthday was on the obituary because it happened on my birthday. So I was like, wow. So I was looking at that, and I was also looking at his face. So I'm looking at his obituary. He's dead. My birthday is on it, and I saw him die in person live. So it startled me, and I spent the next few days thinking about the fact that my birthday is on that obituary. And then it hit me. Whoa. The reason that the birthday startled me is because usually if your birthday is on an obituary, you be dead. You don't see your own birthday on an obituary. And if I had died that day, my birthday would be on the obituary 2 times. It would say born May 19th, 1973, died May 19th, 2006. So at that moment, I stepped back and I said, whoa, oh my God, this is a message. It was like God tapped me on my shoulder and said, look at this obituary. Your birthday is only on there 1 time because I took someone in your stead. If I would have taken you, your birthday would be on here 2 times. So since it's on there 1 time, that means you have a second chance at your life. What are you going to do with it? And it was at that moment that I got on my knees and I gave my life to Christ. I said, God, I see you. I hear you. And I will do anything that you want me to do from this moment forth in my life. And I gave my life to Christ, and I never looked back. And God has opened up doors. I like to tell people all the time that I work for God. I don't work for humans, because according to humans, I have 7 felonies. I've been to prison 3 times. So according to humans, don't trust me. Don't sell me anything. Don't give me a job according to humans. But God has said otherwise. I have my own classroom at Covenant Academy. I've helped 4 years of students off the streets graduate from high school and go on to further their lives. Because they met Mr. Wilder, I went right out on the blocks and found drug dealers and said, how old are you? 17. All right, come with me, man. Y'all got to go enroll in school. Come on, let's go in school. Some of them said no. Some of them said yes. Some of them tried and failed, but some of them did graduate. Quite a few actually graduated. So that's just one of the things that me and Yafincio have done. And it's been a very powerful journey, very powerful, and it's still going. It's still going. We're working on our book, Peace During War, telling our story from then all the way till now. And we love what we do, and we love being an asset to our communities, and we love being a part of the solution. We were part of the problem for 20 years plus, but now we are definitely part of the solution, and we love it, and we can't do any of it without God's grace. We cannot do anything that we do. Our story is so powerful, it's obvious that we could not have done this without God. And so it's been an honor for me to share our story with you all. And thank y'all for listening. I hope that we uplifted you guys or enlightened you all about peace during war and group violence intervention, what we do. And if you have any questions, thank you very much.